Hello, my dear class 5 students. I'm sure you must be eagerly waiting for this class again because we have left our lesson fully uncovered. We have just done half of the lesson earlier, and so I'm back with you with the same lesson. And I believe that you all are ready with your textbook and copy. If there's anything that you need to note down, you can also do that, okay? As usual, I'll be explaining the footnotes first. That means I'm going to explain the definitions of some words, the meanings which you will find it difficult as you go through this textbook. So if you are ready, we'll straight away go into our lesson. The first word that I'm going to be explaining today in the hunt is savage. That means violently wild, okay? Sometimes we see animals cannot be controlled, right? If you hurt the animal or if you do something wrong to them, they become very violent. So in this lesson, we are going to read the word savage in that context. You might have heard some people using the word in another sense, but I want you to understand it in that sense, okay? And the next one will be snarl, making a growling sound out of anger, okay? So you will also find an animal snarling here. And then the next one is elation. The word elation means in a state of great excitement and happiness. Excitement and happiness. Sometimes when you are able to achieve something, you feel elated, right? You feel so happy that even if you do not express it, you can see it, others can see it through your expressions. So we will also be coming across the word elation when you go through the textbook. Please take note of this, and then the next one will be triumphantly. Triumphantly here means very happy because you are able to achieve something. Triumphant means victory. You also have the word victory, right? You might have heard of that. And so you will come across this word when you study the book. Please make sure that you keep this word in mind. I'm going to repeat. Savage means violently wild, okay? Snarl means making a sound, a low growling sound, because you are in a danger or thinks the situation is not very good at that time, especially by animals, okay? And the next one is elation. Elation is feeling excited and happy about something, and triumphantly is also a little similar here, but triumphantly will be used when you win something or when you are at a victorious position, when you win something. So if you win a medal during the sports week, sometimes you go home triumphantly, but that means you won, and that winning has given you an excitement and a joy that cannot be given by anyone. That is called triumphantly, okay? If you are still with your textbook, I would like you to turn to page number 28, okay? Because the earlier part of the lessons have been covered. Our lesson covers from 26 to 29, including all the questions that you will find, all the exercises, okay? Listen carefully, and even as you listen this explanation, I will also encourage you to try doing some exercises, because as you listen the explanation, it will be fresh for you to fill it up, which is going to help you more. Sometimes we know that we are going to do our work later, but when we postpone it like that, it becomes difficult for us. We forget the things that we have learned, or I do not know whether you feel that way or not, but sometimes we become a little lazy that we don't even do the work that is required for us, okay? We have been continuing with the hunt. In the first part, I'm just going to give you a short recap. We have learned that a boy went for hunting because he wants to, it is very important for him to learn hunting all alone so that he could join the other tribesmen as a grown-up boy. I've told you, you don't want others to consider you as a child, especially when you are in class 5, right? You have crossed your primary section, and you also consider yourself to be a big boy, a big girl. And when somebody treats you like a very small kid, you feel irritated, right? This boy might also be facing that present condition right now, and so he wanted to prove that he is capable to go for hunting along with the other big boys and also the men of his tribe. That is why he was going out. In the meantime, he was also feeling scared. You can imagine if you were to spend a night in the jungle all alone and you hear noises around, and you just hear noises of animals or maybe noises which are strange to you, that becomes difficult for you, right? But this boy gathered all the courage. He went there, and we saw that he also found a companion, that is his dog. He found a companion, and the companion helped him. We have touched a little bit of that portion. I'm going to explain that in detail again. He had got a friend, that is the dog, whom he helped. Okay, he helped the dog because the dog was wounded, and he expected that dog to go back to its pack. I've told you in our previous class, a group of dogs will be called as a pack. Okay, and so the boy expected the dog to go back to its pack, but this dog did not go, and he thought that it should go, or it would be wanting to go, because when animals roam in group, they also feel much better, like human beings. Human beings find it very lonely if you are all alone, especially in the school. You might have experienced all your other friends were in group, and if you were the one left out all alone, what do you feel? You don't feel good, I guess. You feel lonely, you feel left out, you feel uncounted, and that's where you don't even want to continue doing the other works too. And so in putting the dog in his own place, he also felt that the dog would be wanting to go back to its pack, but the dog did not go back. It was just with the boy from the time it came, and he nursed it. He did not go back again. And it was already morning. The dog was still along with him. We have seen how they two went and encountered a wild pig, right? There were some clusters. Okay, clusters means group. There were some clusters of plants. That means not just one or two plants scattered here and there, but there were a group of plants that is called a cluster. We can use the word cluster even to mention two stars, right? A cluster of stars. You have come across that in science or English too also, because English too we read these collective words. And so there were a clusters of plants where they saw an animal. It was all because of the dog. You remember? If you can recollect your previous class, you will know the dog gave a snarl, okay, a growling sound that gave him the hint that there was something around. And he got to realize that there was danger around him, and that was the reason why the dog was making the sound. After realizing this, he also got a whiff. If I ask you the meaning of the word whiff, I'm sure you'll be able to explain. Or if you have forgotten, in your previous class I explained that the whiff means getting a smell just once. In a context, what do you do? If you walk past a bakery, you get the whiff of the smells of the snacks, right? And so you get it once, and then it's like it vanishes again. So this boy also got a whiff of the smell of a wild animal, so this made him to be more cautious. Cautious means careful, and then he turned around to find a wild pig in the clusters of plants that were around them. Why were they going out? I want you to recollect, okay? They were going out. Some of you will be thinking to hunt if you have forgotten again. But remember, of course, he was in the jungle to hunt. But this time, they were going out to find food for this boy because he was hungry. It was already morning. And unlike the time that you were at home, no one will be cooking for you. So the boy was going out to find food for himself when he was least expecting. That means when he was not expecting any animal at this time. Of course, he was in the jungle, he went out for hunting, but in this expedition, he was just going out to find some food for himself. But when they were not expecting, they saw this wild pig, right? And so when he also realized what his elders told him. His elders told him that it would be unwise if you are trying to run from a wild pig, because even if you try to run away from this animal, you can never outrun. That means you cannot escape from this animal. Tusk. If you have heard the word tusk, T-U-S-K. Elephant has got tusk, right? A teeth-like thing that comes out from their mouth. And so even wild pig has got very sharp tusk, okay? And if you are trying to run away from the wild pig, it will just cut you with the tusk that it has. And so he realized that he should not run. See, listening to elders is very important, okay? And when you go through the story, I just don't want you to understand the story like that. There are some hidden meanings that you will find in every story. If the boy did not pay attention to what his elders have told him, he would be trying to run away, and who knows, his life would have ended there. But because he paid importance to what his elders told him, it's very important to listen to what your elders, your teachers, your brothers and sisters teach you, because they are teaching you so that you will have a better result out of it. Okay, not only in studies, in everything. When your parents guide you, sometimes you might not like it, but they are teaching you because you are going to use it in your future, not only in the present situation, but it is going to help you in the long run. That is the reason why they teach you. And the boy did the same thing. He listened to his elders, and not only listening, but he also put that into practice. Sometimes we listen, but we don't put it into practice. For example, I'm telling you to get hold of your book as you listen to the explanation. Some of you are doing that right now, and I'm happy about it because it's helping you, right? But some of you will just be thinking, teacher is not looking at me, so I will just leave it like that right now. But if you are doing that right now, remember, you will be in a difficult situation, not like the boy. The boy is very wise here. The story did not write about him as a wise boy, but we also got to know from the story that he paid attention and listened to what his elders taught him. And so he just did not run away. He took hold of his stand. That means he stood firm on the ground, getting ready to attack. If you are not prepared, it's difficult for you to face this kind of dangers, right? But he just took hold, he got ready, poised. Okay, that means he got ready, P-O-I-S-E-D. He took his position in order to attack the wild pig if it comes. He did not take his advanced step, because sometimes when you are scared, you take your actions in a hurried manner, which bears wrong result. But this boy did not do. He was just waiting, because he knew that the pig will surely attack, the wild pig. It's not the pig that you rear at home, okay? He knew that the pig will surely attack, so he was just getting ready, all set to attack the pig, and as expected. It was not unexpected here, okay? He was expecting the pig to come and attack him. And so as expected, in a flash, that means in a second, the pig just jumped to attack him, and at that moment he threw the spear. We touched a little bit on that in the previous class, you will remember. He threw the spear and hit the wild pig, but it did not hit the right spot, okay? And it got wounded, but it was not killed. And when you hurt an animal, we know that it's going to be very difficult for us. They become more wild and fierce, right? When you are in pain, you also might have experienced this. Even if others tell you something, you don't want to obey that because you are in a difficult situation at that moment. And so the pig began to attack again, but the dog pounced on the wild pig and then began to scratch with the claws, right? You know, the claws. In simple terms, you can think of the nails, right? With these claws and its teeth. It began attacking the wild pig, and this helped the boy a lot, okay? Since the dog was also helping him to attack this wild pig, he got enough time to get hold of the knife that he was carrying on his waist. As a hunter, you know that they will not just be going out with a very simple weapon, because you need to have a second option. You need to, in the exams, I'm sure you don't go to the exam hall with just one pencil without a sharpener, right? If you have a pencil, you also need to have a backup, that is the sharpener maybe, or you will be carrying two pencils or two pens, so that you will not waste your time sharpening, or so you will not waste your time going out to buy another pencil or to get another pencil from a friend. And so this boy was well prepared. He also had a sharp knife with him on his waist. So when the dog was still busy attacking the wild pig, he got hold of the knife and then stepped. Okay, that means he hit the wild pig with this knife and he killed it. And so it would be a very happy moment for him. He felt elated, okay, elation. He was at its elation. That means he was very happy. He felt elated because he was able to kill a wild animal when he was least expecting. He was just going out to find food for himself. I'm sure he will not be feeling hungry at this moment. He got something that he was wanting, though he was not expecting at this moment. And now he felt happy because he could join the other men, other grown-up boys in the hunting. When his tribe go for hunting, he can also join them because he was able to hunt an animal all by himself. So he got so happy, he trust. That means TRUSS, okay? That means to tie the feet and hands of something is called trust, okay? So he trusts the animal with the rope carefully tied, and then he was wishing that he will reach home very soon, because it is a proof, it is a sign to show that he was also matured enough to join the other boys in the hunt. He went home triumphantly. But one problem he had, okay, I want you to know this. The dog was not with him when he came to the jungle. He found his companion only when he was there. And so and to take a wild animal home would be something that his elders will not appreciate. Because he was there, especially for wild animals, he just went there to hunt and not to protect them, right? And dogs are also wild animals. I'm reminding you. Earlier, dogs were not kept at home. So dogs were also wild animals. He went for hunting, but this dog did not leave him. The dog was always with him, even when he was going back home. And that was the reason why he got confused. And he was thinking what to explain to the elders when he go back home, because they might not like it. But he got an idea. He decided to tell the elders that it was because of this dog that his life was saved, and he tried to protect the dog. And then he just turned to the dog. The dog might understand, may not understand, but he told him, it's okay. Since you saved my life, I will always be with you. Okay, you will be with me at home always. And so even to this day, we have dogs at home as our pets. So this is the story of the hunt, about a young boy who went out hunting to prove that he was able to join the other boys, other grown-up boys in their hunt, and he was able to succeed. That is the story, but it's also important to know that if you set out for something, you also have to pay attention to the advices that you get from elders, so that it will help you to be successful in whatever you do. Plus, you have to be compassionate. That means you have to feel pity to the ones who are suffering around you. They might be of help to you later. The boy helped the dog. Okay, first, the boy helped the dog when he was in danger, when he was suffering, and later the dog saved his life. So this is what I want you to keep in your mind. Please learn the lessons that this story is trying to tell you, apart from the real story that you have learned. And with this, we are going to end this class and also this chapter. Please finish the exercises that follows in the next page. Until then, we will see you in the next class with a grammar portion. Thank you.